Hello everyone and welcome back to another video on the channel. Today I'm going to be bold and I'm going to be putting in my early predictions for the 2025-26 season. Now, for the vast majority of this, you're probably going to all agree with which club goes into which segment, from relegation all the way up to promotion. You'll be able to follow the trend that goes along, but I am going to put a few rogue shouts in there just to make the video interesting. Otherwise, it'll just be your standard early season odds from 24th to 1st. So let's get straight into it. As you can see, all the clubs on the screen, 5 segments from relegation to just about surviving, lower mid-table, higher mid-table, and then of course the promotion and the all-important playoff spots from 6th to 3rd. Let's get into it. Starting off at the bottom and working my way up to the top. So in my 24th spot, first team going down is newly promoted Charlton Athletic. I think the majority of you have Charlton to finish in one of the relegation places. The only bit of business so far this season, as of the time of recording, is bringing in midfielder Sonny Bradley from Blackpool, and you just get a sense with some of the newly promoted sides in like seasons gone by that, you know, they look decent, they're prepared for the Championship, they're going to do well in it. Charlton for me just doesn't fall under that category. I think they're going to struggle and come straight back down. So next up to get relegated in my 23rd spot is Oxford United. Now, they had a pretty solid season last season, finishing 17th place. But just like it is with Premier League, newly promoted Premier League sides coming up from the Championship, you've got to do well in the first season, and then you've got to build on it in the second season, and that's going to be the test for Oxford United this season. Can they back up what they did last season? Now, I know Oxford had a really good home record last season, and that is pretty much what kept them up. They haven't done any business so far by the time of recording this, and I think Oxford is going to be one of the sides that we see fighting at the bottom for survival this season. And ultimately, for me, I think they won't be able to avoid the drop, and they are my second side to get relegated. And in my final relegation spot in 22nd is actually another side who managed to survive last season. We've got Portsmouth, who finished 16th. Again, another side that were fighting at the bottom. Were in the relegation zone for so long last season, and then just the final weeks of the season just staged, just hit the correct form at the right time. It went on an amazing run. But same with Oxford. I think, obviously, if it wasn't for that, they would have gone down. It's going to be another hard season for them, and again, they're going to be battling at the bottom of the table. I think Portsmouth are going to be the final side that goes down. Moving on now to just flirting between surviving and relegation. I'm going to put them in my survival row in 21st place. We have got Derby County. They just survived last season, finished in 19th place. I think they will have enough to survive again this season. They'll need to be careful. They've brought in Carlton Morris from relegated side Luton Town, which I think is a great bit of business. They've also managed to tie down Craig Forsyth, a defender for them who was, absolutely played a massive role in them surviving last season. So, holding on to him, bringing in a decent striker who's got experience. Of course, just in the Premier League last year. Now he saw his side relegated into League One, but he's made the step back up into the Championship now with Derby County picking him up. I think it's a good bit of transfer business, and as I said, they've got to be careful. But I think they'll have it in them to just manage to survive. So in my 21st spot, Derby County. Next up, in 20th place, I have got Queen's Park Rangers. This is a side who usually find themselves at the bottom half of the table, and they normally have multiple stages of the season where they go on a really horrid run. I don't think they're in danger of going down. One of those sides that used to be a really, really good side, but has dropped off and haven't managed to to pick themselves back up yet in recent years. So I think they'll be all right. No danger of going down for me, but just not really going to go anywhere with this season unless they make any big surprising signing later on before the season starts. So QPR are in my 20th place. Moving on to 19th now, I have got Blackburn Rovers. Again, another side that you don't know whether they're going to hit a massive struggling patch or whether they'll be a strong contender for playoffs. That's how random Blackburn can be. We've had seasons where they've been up there, seasons where they've been down here, and I have no danger of Blackburn to go down. They've brought in Sidney Tavares from the Portuguese league, midfielder, also winger Dion De Neve from the Belgian league. They've offered new contracts to Tyrese Dolan, Danny Bath, Andros Weimann, but they are still yet to commit their futures to the club. Could be a big blow for them if they lose any of those players. They're pretty key to Blackburn. I don't think they'll have any danger of going down, but it's just one of those clubs that it could be anywhere next season, depending on what form they're in at certain stages of the season. Finally, in my 18th place, I have got Sheffield Wednesday. Now, Sheffield Wednesday is a side that currently got a lot of off-field problems with their owners, and literally anything could happen with Wednesday. As it stands, they have got a squad for me that has enough in it for them to survive next season. Of course, though, if things get bad, players could start walking away for free. They won't be able to attract any new ones. They could be getting some serious trouble, and it's not nice when this happens to a football club. We've seen it many times before. We've seen clubs that have managed to pick themselves back up, some that have completely just non-existent anymore. It's Sheffield Wednesday, a club that I know, alongside with Sheffield United, but people have a bit of like stick with them. I don't mind Wednesday. They're a really good historic old club, and I really wish that they can sort their owners out soon. As it stands, I'm going to put them in just surviving, because Wednesday will always have enough. They've got the fight in them. Now, these are my early predictions. There's still over a month to go before the season kicks off. Closer to the time, I may do an updated version where I do my final table prediction, where we might see Wednesday moving lower down depending on how their situation progresses. But just for now, I'm going to put them in surviving. And we're going to move on now to the lower mid-table. So for me, no chance of going down. And just mid-table sides. In 17th place, I have got Swansea City. One of those sides that are always in the middle of the table. Could finish a bit higher, but just mid-table club for me, Swansea City. In 16th place, I've got my club, Preston North End. Now, again, as I said, with Sheffield Wednesday, these are my early predictions. There, I may move us up a little bit. Of course, not trying to be biased here, but so far we've done some great bit of business. We brought in Daniel Everson from Leicester, Paul Valentine from Sheffield Wednesday, Thierry Small from Charlton Athletic, Jordan Thompson from Stoke City. Of course, we've lost some big players as well, like Emil Rees and Freddie Woodman, Ryan Lentz, and also another player that we need to replace. But I see the early odds for the table, and see us were one of the teams for to get relegated, favourites for us to get relegated, and I just don't see how we can finish lower than we did last season. Last season wasn't even a bad season. We just had so many draws, finishing in 20th place. We will return back to our usual mid-table place, maybe even a little bit higher than 16th, but just for now, that is where I'm going to be putting us. And in 15th place, now we've got one of the new boys, Wrexham, which none of us really know how they're going to do. I've seen bookies putting them right at the top. I don't think they've got a squad like Ipswich had, or like what Sunderland had a couple of seasons ago when they came up, or maybe, which we are coming up to soon, what Birmingham City have currently. But it will be interesting to see. Of course, Wrexham's first time in the Championship. They brought in Ryan Hardy already from relegated side Plymouth, who he's a decent 10-plus goal a seasoned striker. So it will definitely do well for them. Wrexham had, I'd say, they had a championship squad for their time in League Two and League One. Now they're in the Championship. I think they'll come mid-table. I don't think we're going to see anything big from them, but it'll take time to see how used they are to the Championship. Of course, we've seen the run that they've been on the past couple of seasons. They're definitely the most improved club out of the entirety of the EFL by some margin. And yeah, Wrexham to finish in mid-table, just sitting on the fence with them really. They've got to show me what they can do. But Wrexham in 15th place for me. In 14th place, we've got a team that finished 14th place last season, is Watford. It's just that since they got relegated from the Premier League, we've not seen anything from them competing for the top six for quite a while now, and I think now they're slowly becoming embedded into the Championship, which is just a long slog of season after season trying to get anywhere near that top six, but then ultimately just finishing mid-table like a lot of clubs. I think Watford at the minute, that is what they are. I'm not seeing anything new from them, especially with all these managerial changes. For me, that's never the way forward. But again, they might strike lucky with one. But for me, in 14th place is Watford. Next up, in 13th place, I have put Hull City, a side that just survived on the final day, finishing 21st last season. I think they're going to massively improve this season. I know they've lost their manager, Ruben Sellers, who's gone to Sheffield United to replace Chris Wilder, which we're going to speak about soon. Hull City, they brought back Gustavo Puerta, who was on loan from Bayer Leverkusen last season. They've turned that into a permanent. They've also brought in centre-half Semi Ajayi from West Bromwich Albion. I think Hull City, they definitely are better than what they showed last season, 100%. So I'm going to just put them in mid-table. And moving on now to where it probably gets a bit more interesting, higher mid-table. Really anyone of these clubs from now on can challenge for the playoffs. I have got Stoke City. Now this is a side who spent most of the time last season flirting with relegation. This is a side that can show much more, and I think that they will improve this season. They've brought in Sorba Thomas, who of course has got Championship experience when he was with Huddersfield Town. Of course, they got relegated. He's now back in the Championship. This is a player that we've been linked with a few times in the past. I think he's a great player. I think Stoke City, they've got a decent signing there, and I think, as I said, they'll improve on last season and they'll finish in 12th place. Now on to my 11th place. I have got Millwall, a side that came 8th last season, almost got into those playoffs with new manager Alex Neil, of course, our ex-manager as well. He is a great manager, and Millwall, they've got a great manager there. And again, I can only see them having another great season. Can't see them coming below 12th place. They're in my 11th place. I think they'll show some kind of push onto the playoffs, but just fall short towards the end. They have brought back Josh Coburn, who was on loan from them last season from Middlesbrough. They have lost the big player in Zian Fleming, who was on loan to Burnley last season, but they've now made that deal permanent since getting promoted to the Premier League, which is great news for us because he always did a job on us, and just thank goodness he's out of this league. But yeah, he's going to be a big miss for Millwall for sure. In 10th place, I've got a side who finished in the playoffs last season, Bristol City. I think they'll have another strong season. They'll drop off a bit back into the usual mid-table places, and they'll just fall short this season. They brought in midfielder Adam Randall from Plymouth Argyle. Brought back Yu Hirakawa, who was on loan from them last season, who only managed to score 2 goals last season, one against Middlesbrough and one that I remember very well against us. A hand of God moment, we'll call it. In a full Championship season, for a striker to get 2 goals, and even if you count one of them as well, I'm only counting one. It was his first time in the Championship last season. I was a bit surprised when they brought him back. Of course, he's still young, so he can still grow into a player. We'll have to wait and see how he gets on, because of course, just like like we judge teams in their second season in a league. I do the same with players as well. How will they get on in their second season? Whether they've done poorly in the first or really, really well. Can they keep up? Can they keep it up if they've done well? Can they improve if they've done not so well? So we'll see what happens with him. But Bristol City in my 10th place. In 9th place, getting closer and closer to that playoff spot, I have got Norwich City. This is a side who I think are going to do really, really well this season. Finished in 13th place last season. They've done some good bit of business so far in the transfer window as well. Brought in Jacob Wright, who they had on loan last season, midfielder from Manchester City. They've turned that into a permanent deal. That is another player who we have been linked with the past couple of seasons as well, but he ended up going to Norwich City. Brought in defender Harry Darling from Swansea City, Dan Grimshaw from Plymouth Argyle, the goalkeeper, and then another goalkeeper, Vladan Karvacevic from Sporting Lisbon, who I'm presuming is going to be their first choice goalkeeper after Angus Gunn leaving. They've also brought in another centre half, Yarkov Medik from Ajax. And what's paying for all of this but the sale of Jonathan Rowe to Marseille for around 15 million, of course, scoring the winner for England under-21s last night in the final, winning the Euro under-21s 2 times in a row. He's a great player, and of course he's going to be a big miss for Norwich, but when a price like that comes in for him, for a Championship club who finished mid-table last season, need to improve, want to get back to the Premier League. Selling him, bringing in the cash, as long as it goes back into the squad and not into the pockets of the owners or whoever. Norwich, I think are going to be a team to look out for after a couple of seasons mid-table. I think Norwich City could be back this season. In 8th place, side that since their relegation always been flirting with playoffs. Some seasons they've got it, some seasons they've fallen short. I've got West Bromwich Albion. I think another solid season from them is what I expect. Brought in Nat Phillips from Liverpool, reported 3 million price tag. He was on loan at Derby County last season. He's a great defender. I think he's going to be a solid defensive option for any team that picks him up. But yeah, West Brom, 8th place, they'll just fall short for me. And then the final team who I think is just going to miss out on playoffs in 7th place, I've got Middlesbrough. Again, it's a side who could very easily finish in those top places. There's going to be great clubs like yourselves that are going to just miss out. You may even find yourself in there come the end of the season. There's 10 great sides here and only 6 places available. And that is what we're going to be moving on to now. In my 6th place, who I think are going to make it into the playoffs, I have got Birmingham City. And it's absolutely amazing me seeing them just up there, just on my own table here as well. But especially if that actually does come true on the actual league table come the end of the season. Birmingham City, before their relegation, always flirting with relegation. They finally did drop, and it's what they needed. They're going to come back stronger than ever. The bookies have even put them as high as 4th, 3rd. I'm not going to get ahead of myself. So I think they're going to have a great season, and they're going to be up there. They're going to be a strong side this upcoming season. They have got a squad that is prepared for the Championship whilst they were in League One. Of course, just bringing in Jay Stansfield for 15 million last season as a League One signing. They're like Ipswich Town and Sunderland. That when their team got promoted, they're ready for the Championship straight away. Unlike question marks over Wrexham, for example. And also Charlton as well, who definitely don't look ready for the league. They've brought in Taylor Gardner-Hickman from Bristol City, the midfielder. They've also brought in defender Phil Neumann from Hanover. And they're just building on the squad that they already had. We're going to see something good from Birmingham City this season, and I've got them to finish in my in the playoff spots as my 6th place. Moving on to 5th place now, I have got Coventry City, a side that, put them to the left of Birmingham there, a side that finished in the playoffs last season under Frank Lampard. I think they're going to do it again. They went on a great run of form with Frank Lampard. It just, whether or not they can keep it going into next season, I think they may be able to. They've brought in Miguel Angel Bro from Granada, the fullback. I think they're a strong contender for the playoffs next season. Now, 4 teams left. It's probably the 4 you would have expected at the beginning of the video. I would say the final 4 teams that we've got left are going to be the 4 that are going to be fighting for the automatics, which of course there is only 2 automatic places. So who's going to make it? In 4th place, I have got Leicester City. seen quite a few bookies saying that they're not even going to make the playoffs, which I think is absolute rubbish. I do agree that they're not going to be as good as they were last time they were in the Championship 2 seasons ago, but yeah, to say that they're not going to make it in the top 6 for me is absolutely ridiculous. They're a strong side. Any team that comes down from the Premier League are going to be straight back up there, of course, unless something goes horribly wrong. But Leicester City for me, 4th place. They will just miss out on automatics, but strong contender for the playoffs. Now, in my 3rd place, this is going to be a little bit of a rogue one because they are favourites to win the whole thing next season, and here's me putting them not even making it into the automatics. But in my final playoff spot, I've got Ipswich Town. I think they're going to have a great season. Of course, this is not me saying that they're going to be rubbish by any means. Coming 3rd place is a great season for any side. Of course, for a team coming down from the Premier League, you want to come straight back up. You probably, even the fans are expecting them to come straight back up. I think from Ipswich's Town point of view, they know they've been down in the lower leagues for too long. They know what it's like, and not to take any of that for granted. I think they're going to have a great season. Still yet to bring players in, to my knowledge, as of yet. But they've sold Liam Delap for 30 million to Chelsea. Of course, with the money also that they're going to get for coming down from the Premier League and all that. 30 million added on to that. I don't know what precisely the rules are for the amount of money and spending. But Ipswich, it's going to be a close race between these 4 clubs. And again, don't be disappointed if I put you here. I think all of you from 4th onwards are going to have a great battle for the automatics and to whoever's going to win the whole thing. Moving on to 2nd place, getting automatics, a side that missed out last season, Sheffield United. Of course, getting rid of Chris Wilder after coming 3rd with 90 points last season is, well, no pun intended here, but is absolutely wild. But they brought in Ruben Sellers from Hull City, who's a great manager, and I think they're going to do it this season. I think they would have done it with Chris Wilder in charge this season. So, yeah, as I said, it's a bit of a weird one. Don't go turning into Watford, but I think they're gonna get promoted this season. No business as of yet, although there are strong rumours that they're going to lose Vinny Souza. Wolfsburg are very interested in signing him, the central defensive midfielder, which has caused the chain, because obviously in order for them to sell, they'll want a replacement, and the replacement that they are strongly interested in our defensive midfielder, Ali McCann, who I am surprised he's gone under the radar so far, because he is one of the most solid defensive midfielders in the Championship. No one ever speaks about him, which is probably why no one's ever been looking for him. But the fact that Sheffield United are interested just like that probably just shows you how good of a defensive midfielder he is, if they're looking to replace a player like Souza. And with McCann, he's a great player, so hopefully they have other players on their list as well, and they opt not to come in for our Ali McCann, because for us it'll be a big loss. Of course, only one side left though, because all the Southampton fans, if there's any watching, just sitting there waiting for me to drag them up to top place, which again, not many actually are going to have Southampton coming top over Ipswich, maybe even Leicester as well. After the season they had in the Premier League, the jump between the Championship and the Premier League is massive. Southampton is a top side, and they're going to be up there. They're going to be competing. As I said, it could be any one of these 4 sides fight it out amongst themselves. It's going to be a great Championship last season. I've got Southampton to win the whole thing. Of course, these were my early table predictions. I've got my final predictions coming soon, closer to the start date, where we may see a few changes, whether some teams at the top may drop off, some of the lower down teams may see themselves rising up a bit, depending on what business they do from now until the start of the season. But yeah, thank you all for watching. If you did enjoy, please do leave a like and subscribe to the channel. I've got a ton of football content coming this upcoming season, Championship, Premier League, with table predictions, score predictions. So yeah, thank you all for watching. I'll see you all in the next one.